I'd like to introduce our afternoon keynote speaker, Indu Vijayan. Indu serves as AEye's Director of Product Management for Automotive Solutions, working together with companies' business and technical side to bring autonomous vehicle perception system to market in collaboration with Tier 1 partners. Prior to AEye, Indu spent 5 years in Delphi Aptiv as a senior software engineer on autonomous driving team, where she played a major role in bridging ADAS sensors and algorithms and extending them for mobility, including setting system functional requirements for SAE levels 3 and 4 autonomous driving systems, developing future sensor requirement, and developing camera models for automated driving simulation platform. Indu holds a Bachelor of Science in Technology in Computer Science and from India's Amrita University, and a MS in Computer Engineering from Stony Brook University. Indu is also the founder of Women in Autonomy, an organization formed to educate, equip, and empower women in automotive and auto tech space to become leaders and change makers in the industry. Welcome, Indu.
Hello, everyone. It's great to meet all of you here with a diverse set of people here in University of Michigan, and happy to be here giving a talk about how the LiDAR industry has adapted for the changing needs in the vehicle and automotive industry, not only for technology, but also how it's changing in terms of diversity. So just to give a brief overview of what I'll be talking today, I'll go through how the car or the vehicle industry has adapted over the period of time. I'll also show a little bit about how LiDAR is perceived in today's market and how we need to look at adaptive LiDAR to meet different use cases across different verticals. Then I'll also talk a little bit about an organization called Women in Autonomy, which was founded in 2019, and give you a little preview into the motivational story and what we do at Women in Autonomy. It's been COVID hit for maybe 2 years now, and we all have adapted to this change. And Charles Darwin has said it wisely: it is not the strongest of the species that survives, nor the most intelligent. It's the one that is most adaptable to change. And while we talk about adapting, I want to briefly talk about how the automotive industry has evolved over the period of years, and talk about how vehicle industry was initially started as a functional, like give you the vroom in the car, take it for a drive, either for your good spin or to take you from a position A to B. It had very little updatability, like very infotainment systems which were very faint, and like you don't have much other than put your CD in and play that. You have ECUs, which is well integrated to your software real-time operating systems, and that's basically what it was in decades above. Then it moved to be more digital, with the ability to have software in the system and the ability to have updatability and also have much more software in the system, and gives you the ability to have personalization. So each person getting in the car have different modes in it as such. And as we moved forward, the car became much and much more updatable, much more closer to what you wanted. It had more ADAS capabilities. These are the cars which you and me drive today, where there is regular updates and you have dynamic HMI. What does this mean? Your Alexas, your Siris are all available in your cars. And not only that, the OEMs and third-party OEMs applications as well as third-party applications started coming into your HMI and other cases where you're driving. And as we move forward, what we're seeing in the vehicle industry is that it is becoming more and more software defined. The main key thing, I'm going backwards. And as we become more and more software defined, you can see that there is increasing amount of connectivity in it, more 5G connectivity with redundancy in the data, and also the ability to have continuous software deliveries. What does this mean? So we don't need to have recalls in the car, but rather have a software update. If there is a there's a bug in the software, you have a software update through over-the-air capabilities. We also have data processing capabilities not within the sensor, this is within the car, but also have the ability in your cloud to compute data separately. So all of this gave the ability to make the car more software definable. And you also start to see that there's an increasing role in software. And over the period of years, you can think about it in maybe your generation of your parents, how the car used to be very much in engine controllers and very little bit of infotainment, but you started to have newer and newer belt systems, and also as we go closer towards 2000, you started to see ACC, where you have active safety started coming in. You also start to see user experience also rolling in. The main key factor is that the software in your cars have increased exponentially in all of these cases. Current premium vehicles have 150 million lines of software. And what does it show you? That the vehicle industry is following the path of what cell phone industry has gone through over the period of time. It was initially very tightly coupled with hardwares, but now it's becoming more software defined. And the key factor here is that it's using the data from these ECUs, from the software and the data that's taken to drive more customer insights to make efficient customer interactions. And you can also push R&D into these R&D softwares into these cross OEM platforms, test them, and then deploy them once you have gone through the full release processes. This also enables, as I said before, about the OTA updates so that your quality can be maintained. This just revolutionized how the vehicle industry is, to be more software definable, having a service-oriented architecture. So now there's an increased revenue model or economic model that's coming in the vehicle industry, wherein you can buy what you want after you have bought the car. So you can see autopilot being a feature in some of the cars, and you can see safety features coming in that way. You can also see other personalization features coming in this way through licensing models. So why am I talking about vehicle industry as such? Meanwhile, just let's talk about what's happening in the LiDAR world. It all started at DARPA Challenge when LiDAR sensors were mounted all across just to make sure that it's driving autonomously in the field. And then even if you look today, even at MCT or San Francisco, many of these robocars still holds a lot of sensors on them to meet different use cases, whether be driving on the urban scenes or on the highway, to compute all what's going on in the scene to be compliant and make it sure it's automated and you have redundancy in them. Now let's look at how how we can have more innovation in LiDAR over the period of time, right? We have seen that more than over a decade, the innovation in LiDAR systems have been very limited. So I'll start on the left-hand side. You see traditional passive sensing systems. What does it do? It takes out all the amount of data, runs it serially, crosses it over to your perception platform, and rest of the application processing to compute. There is not much more happening here other than continuously at a fixed frame rate, giving data to your higher levels of processing, and information is made out at the higher levels of software. Now let's look at how this would be on adaptive LiDAR. The key thing with an adaptive LiDAR is that it has a software-defined platform which is based out of a modular hardware architecture. So the idea is you can move in and out any of these hardware subcomponents and you still can have this platform to work for you according to different use cases. And another key factor here is that it's also having feedback loops with each levels of your software. So this is your perception, with your path planning, all of this working with the software in your sensors to tell the sensor what to do, where to look, where should the resolution be, what should your frame rate be. Now this helps us, the higher levels of software, to get more information as the situation warrants. And the third layer, the sensor is not working in its own silo passive mode. It's also working with other sensors in a complementary mode where you can work with, say, maps. I'm giving you an example where map doesn't have more up-to-date data. It needs more resolution in terms of constructions or anything that's going on. And you can use the sensor to capture that data to understand how the lanes have changed, how the construction blocks or anything has changed in the scene. You can also see that as we move forward, the path planning layer, for example, you're taking a left turn or the right turn, and this is a use case widely spoken about, where there's a small object in the front and you want to either come to a full halting stop or you want to maneuver around it. And how do you make sure the car that's coming by or a bike that's coming by on the side is not going to be in your path that you want to go? You need to get more resolution in that specific area. So do you mount all the sensors around, or can you use your adaptive LiDAR to look at the side of the car and see whether is there any fast-moving object coming at really fast speed, and see whether the area is clear for you to take either left or the right as you need to be in this particular case. And just a little bit more into the modular architecture. It's just not about just swapping in and out hardware subcomponents and make it even more flexible. What makes it also flexible is that it's often said in the automotive industry, whether you have, if you're meeting the criteria of the LiDAR or any specialist, then you always have to fight with the designers to make sure they're happy with the fit in the car. So this is often discussed and often been in scenarios where you have to support both of these requirements. So if you have sensors which works similarly in different modes, whether be it behind the windshield, grille, or headlamp, and get similar performance, that's something an adaptive LiDAR can do. So here I have a video of how this adaptive LiDAR works, just to give you. I've been talking all along. This is going to show you how it performs. So this is going to show, so look for on the leftmost side, you will see the range of the LiDAR, and then you will see that it first in the highway mode. So it's focusing far out in the horizon, just like how your eyes would, where it's focusing right down. And as it's approaching into a traffic jam kind of a scene towards the end of the video, you will see that it's changing its resolution, how it's scanning the scene, and it's more closer towards cut-in scenarios where you want fast-moving objects on the side to be detected. Also here for some cues when it's switching between different modes. Oops. So this is all in the highway scene, and you saw it switching between the horizon mode and while it's taking a lane change. Now this is the traffic jam assist, where the same sensor is looking more at closer area and around the intersections. So this is another video of the same LiDAR sensor, same hardware. It's mounted on a infrastructure 10 meters high, tall, looking at the scene in the intersection. So again, here you will see how the LiDAR is perceiving. It's getting cued from a perception system. It sees a pedestrian on the side. So here for audio cues, when it's detecting a pedestrian, how it changes the scanning to get more resolution closer up front to get more scene of the intersection as such, as opposed to long range over here to see if there is any chaos happening. And this is also cued from the fact that your intersections is like, it has the red and the greens signaling into the sensor as well. So this is that mode over here. I'll quickly play it. And then you will also see how it switches out of it when the pedestrian has walked out. As you see, we worked with Soul Robotics on this particular perception piece. So I've been talking about the LiDAR in general, how the technology is and how it can be leveraged across. Just to give you an idea about how this business model works, since we use a software-defined platform and leverage this technology with our partners. So our partners are domain experts across multiple verticals, and we license our technology to them, and they can adapt the same software platform for each of these verticals. So you can see that we have used the same software platform across different verticals over here. The smart infrastructure, which has the traffic capabilities. Also the off-highways, where you see more for industrial applications. Logistics. Most of these logistics are mainly on the rail tracks or right on the platform to look for pedestrian safety, etc. And that's like close range, but really high resolution that's required. Mobility is across high speeds, low speeds scenarios. Commercial vehicles, these are trucking capabilities where you need longer distances to haul the truck because of a huge mass. And also other automotive applications, just like for the vehicles you and I ride on, and to have level 3 capabilities like the highway pilot, etc. So this is how we leverage our software platform to scale across different verticals, and enables us to work complementary with all other partners and get all our partners to leverage the system as such. In summary, I wanted to talk, we went through the entire case where the vehicle architecture has grown over the decades and how it has adapted to various changes in the market to meet customer goals and make them happier, and how this has also been leveraged for better economic successes. And we also saw that how the passive LiDARs enabled up till now, but how we need to change according to meet the autonomous driving standards, the safety standards, how adaptive LiDARs are required as we move forward to be meeting the needs of more than what a human can do in these kind of scenarios where safety is the most critical. So highly defined software-based systems are really needed to have a safety-critical autonomous driving systems in general. And I've been talking about all innovative products at this point of time. And what makes an innovative product work for all? It requires diversified thinking. And as Stephanie Lampkin said, and those who don't know about Stephanie, she is a Fortune 40 under 40, studied at both Stanford and MIT, and she found that she couldn't find her own job due to different biases in the system. So she went ahead and started her own HR company. And the quote is from her, where she says, "Gender and racially diverse teams perform better, innovate more, and improve economic quality." And to extend this out a little bit more, when you're creating innovative products, where you're deploying it across different markets, different geographies, different cultures, you need more and more people from all of these representations to come together because they know better on different specific aspects of things. So you need all of this input to come together, not only to understand the use cases, the cultural references, for example, infrastructures, different cultures of different ways of some people speed across the traffic sites in certain countries, while in other cases, they wait for the queue to actually walk across this road sign. So all of these are important, both at validation, for regulations, all across where we need that diversified thinking. What more can you do than to change your own playground and be part of this change as we move forward? So here I'm going to talk about Women in Autonomy, an organization I started 2 years back. And the main reasoning was that as I read more about what's happening in the industry, I found out, this is from Catalyst, where I found that 8% of the top executives, and this is about the top 20 automotive companies alone, they only have 8% representation in the executive roles. And of all the automotive industry, only 16% are women. And it's increasingly found that women are the critical pool of underutilized talent. So knowing this, and also from my own experience, being in meeting rooms, I often find myself in being the sole woman representing the company, or just being inside companies, or with partners, or with OEMs in these discussions. And I've started talking about this with people I know who are working in other companies as well. It's glaringly becoming important to me to have more women I can look up to in companies, as well as for other women or other diverse teams, diverse people having representation in the companies as well. So that's how VIA got founded in 2019. And the goal was to educate, equip, and empower women to become leaders and change makers in the industry. I also wanted to state that it has first started in the auto tech industry, but we have now scaled it across any automated infrastructure across all boards, because this is something which is needs to happen across all industries as such. So just to give you an idea of what we do in VIA. So we hold a lot of industry events where women come together for networking, and people and women who have been really beacons in their own industry, they come together. We hold panels where it's very educational, networking also to learn and gain information from each other in their industries. We also have educational series. Awareness and knowing what is best to do is most helpful for the people. So we have a lot of educational Accelerate series where you help to elevate your own personal brand, then how to communicate, how to make sure your point can help your point to be made across, and then also mentoring programs in this particular case. We also have Women at Wheel, where we take specific women in the industry and we look inside their career journeys and have discussions around it so we can inspire the younger women coming in the industry as such. We also have a series which we want to get started on, which is the Under the Hood program, where we want to get a lot more into what's going on in the technical challenges that happen on a day-to-day basis, and give a preview into what is happening on each one of us who's working in the auto tech industry. We also have a speakers bureau, where we have a repository of all women who are accomplished, and this allows other conference holders who find it very difficult to get initiatives from companies for women speakers, and we supply their names to the specific conferences and events so that we get more representation in these events as such. We also have mentorship programs. And this one is something which has helped me a lot and at a personal level as well. Mentors really help you to make right decisions in your career and also help you to get more levels background when you're in your industry. So having more mentorship where your younger aspiring individual can come forward, talk to people who have already worked and has done this in their own careers, has helped multiple, and this is our third set of mentorship program that's happening right now. So this is one of the best things we has also offered to the community. So at an organization level and at a personal level, for me and for our team, VIA has been very helpful. And if you all like this, I would like to hear from you. You can contact me, or if you want to do something different in your own industry, in your own university, or see what we can do, I'm happy to hear back from you, and you can contact me. Let's work and strive for more diversity in all what we do so that we can be better and make better products as we move forward. Thank you all.
Thank you.